What is prostitution?
Yeah, God bless you, Deacon Charles. It's a wonderful subject matter. Prostitution. It's a great topic. Yeah, prostitution is a form of business that involves the exchange of human private organs in exchange with financial resources. Now, when I talk of human private organs, I'm talking about the sexual human parts of a woman or a man. It entails a situation where a man or a woman decides to makes his or herself, turn his or herself into business. You have become a commodity. You use your private, your sexual part for commodity. Most often in some parts of the world, like in Africa, prostitution gets to do more with women.
Okay.
Women selling their private part, giving sex to men who wants to benefit from their sexual organs, and therefore in return they give them money. In essence, that is prostitution, to my own opinion.
Okay.
God bless you.
And is prostitution a good thing?
Of course, it's not a good thing from my point of view from scriptures. Prostitution is not a good thing. God vehemently speaks against prostitution. Now, let's go to the book of Hosea, when God uses the example of Gomer, the wife of prophet Hosea. The Lord had to point out the sin of Israel to the people using the prostitutive nature of Gomer, Hosea's wife. And therefore, God frowned at it. That is why he had to use such an occupation, because he does not cherish it. He had to use it to point how sinful the children of Israel had become. Therefore, prostitution, I would say, is not a good thing.
Okay, what are some of the things that causes people to jump into prostitution?
Now, hear me and hear me very good. A couple of years ago, I think about 12 years ago, when I had the opportunity to become a taxi driver, a cab driver in the city of Antwerp, this is when I get to get more interest about the subject matter of prostitution. I had to pick up one lady several times, and in one occasion I could not hide the bitterness in me because I could see how this girl was frustrating. And one day when I picked her up, I asked her, "Why are you involved in such an occupation?" The first point, do you know what she said? She said, "Sir, I really cherish your bravery and your boldness to ask me such a question." I could see that she was doing something that she does not like.
Yes.
And this lady told me that she was brought from Africa by a pimp, by her madam. Pimps are people who bring women from Africa and other parts of the world to bring them to do prostitution here in Europe. And so this woman brought her, and she had to pay a sum of 15,000 euros to this woman.
Jesus.
So she was paying this money because that was the only way that she could pay back this money. She was sleeping with men. It was not her original intention to do prostitution. Therefore, some people do prostitution because they lack what to do, or because they lack what to eat, and because they are being chained by their so-called pimp or third parties. Third parties are people who put prostitutes into business because they have what they will gain from their services. So that is one of the reasons. And the second reason, in some parts of the world and in certain legislatures, like here in Belgium, precisely in Europe and in other developed world like in America, prostitution is considered as an occupation like any other occupation. So people prostitute because they see it as a livelihood, as a job.
A business, a career.
A career. So they get involved into it because they know they are going to work their own, they are going to work out their retirement benefits. So it's a full paid job, it's a package job that when they come out of it at the age of 65, they also get pension. So it is for some, it is an occupation. So why again do people do prostitute? Another reason why I say people prostitute, from my findings from this lady, I found out that she wanted to keep a livelihood and also to maintain her family back home, because she came from a polygamous family. And because she does not have any papers, doing prostitution would be the only black job that she could do. So she had to sell her private parts, and not because she loved it to do, but because she had to live and also take care of her family. Now, in some other parts of the world, like here in Europe, where this legislature permits prostitution to be an occupation, some people get into it because they want to earn a living, as I rightly said. And now, fourthly, Deacon Charles, I want you to also not to forget that some people get into prostitution out of ignorance. Probably, maybe they grew up from an environment of a community where sex is allowed, sex is rampant, sleeping with married men or women, with people who are not closer to you is allowed. And because they grew in such environments, it has become part of them. And they become prostitutes even without knowing, out of ignorance. So now, I want to say prostitution is something that is really eating up this world. It's eating up the world of today. And no matter what reason that is there, I believe that there are some governments that are taking strict legal measures, like the government of Belgium. When you are caught as a prostitute, not only the prostitute is being penalized by law, the man who is also prostituting with the prostitute, and also in Belgium is more interested to show you how grave and how toxic the government is trying to deal with this calamity. The government sees into it that the pimps, and I talk of pimps, I'm talking about those women who are to Africa and bring these girls to come and do prostitution here. The Belgian government is bent on bringing these people to book. And that's why pimps, when they get them, they get into prison. And their penalty is more than even the prostitutes. Amen.
Okay.
Yeah.
What can you tell someone who is about to get into prostitution right now?
Somebody, from my Christian point of view, I will tell you prostitution is something that God hates. And not only that God hates, but humanly speaking, nobody wants to get married to a woman or a man who has a history of prostitution. I believe that nobody will get into such a venture. It is a stigma. Now, you hearing my voice, I know you may be doing that occupation, or maybe you have in mind to get indulged in it. Now, think about your life 5 years after then. What will become of you? If a reliable man comes to get married, a man who really loves you comes to get married, and then in case of finding you and trying to know about your past and gets to know that you're a prostitute, would that man marry you? Now, answer that question to yourself. God bless you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Deacon Charles,
Yes.
and have a wonderful Sunday.
Thank you.